Hi, I'm Lee Andrews, and in this video I'm going to show you how I make this little chick mug. This particular one was wheel thrown, but I do also have at the end of the video how you can make it hand building. So if you're just interested in hand building, fast forward to the end of the video and you can see how I make the vessel. I hope you enjoy, and happy Easter. So to make these chicks, I use 1.25 pounds of clay. Stick it on the wheel, and then I only use a few tools. I use this tool here. I use this tool here. I use this tool here. I use my sponge, and then I have a knife to get the board off when I'm finished. Start by centering. I'm not doing a how-to throw video because I am not a professional thrower. I do more hand building than I do throwing. Actually, this is the year 2025 that I am going to work on my wheel throwing. I bought this new wheel. It's a standing wheel. When I was sitting, I hate to say it, but I found my butt fell asleep, and it really bothered me to throw. I've got issues with one of my foot, the nerves, and I don't know if it's compressing from my back or from my feet, but I find standing really helps with the throwing. So I cone it up. Cone it down. Air bubble. Get rid of that now. Open it up. Probably have a lot of wheel throwers watching, gasping at my lack of technique, but it seems to work for me. Now I use this guy here and I compress my bottom. Collar it in. Slow down the wheel. I always compress my rim just to try and keep it nice and level. Okay, get to this height and this thickness. Clean out some of the sludge. And then this next pull, I'm going to start shaping it. I use this tool. I'll slow it down a little bit more. Get in, get rid of the excess clay. I left a lot this time. Wet it. And then I go in and I just compress the bottom of the cup with this tool because it gets in there nicely and gives me a nice position off of the wheel to really get in there and compress it. And I switch to this rib, nice and flexible. And I define the shape. I come up to the rim and I want to straighten the rim out just a little bit. I don't want to go right over with it because you still have to drink from the top. So I want it to come up. Get rid of some more slip. And I like the shape. Clean it up. And then I use the chamois, a piece of chamois, and I just compress the rim. Make it nice and smooth. And that's it. First part's finished. All I'm using is this trimmer here, and I'm just going to take off the excess clay right there and round it out. It's a little on the dry side, but any longer we would have been in trouble, but it's going to do okay. Then I'm going to just flatten the very edge here. Get that leveled. And then I take this rib here and I get rid of my trimming imperfections. And that's it. That's all that's needed. Okay, because it's a little dry, I'm just going to get rid of the dog hair. Just going to wet it a little bit. Put my initials in. And then I take my styrofoam and I give it a bit of a foot by pressing that in. And that's it. She's trimmed. And on to the next one. Okay, to make the handles, I am going to use an extruder, and I'm going to use this die cut here, and it is Scott Creek's handle from the handle die set, and this fits the extruder that I made up using PVC pipe This is a 2-inch pipe. It goes on the end, goes into the extruder, and it's battery operated. I have a video on how I made this. I'll put a link below. Okay, I will cut this about 8 inches for each. And then I'll keep this because I'm going to use it for the foot or for the feet. And I'm going to put it over top of these guys to firm up. So if you don't have an extruder or that particular die cut, you can make the handles using 1/4 inch slab. I compressed it on both sides. And I take a ruler and I'm just going to use this. You could use anything that's round. You could even use something like this and cut it out. I'll do 2. I'll do one with this. And this is just going to make the groove. You might even have a handle maker. I'm not sure of the company that makes the handles where you just carve it out of the clay. That has a similar texture. You can use that, whatever. You can even do a totally different handle. Make the feathers however you want them to look. So I'm just using this ruler to guide my impression. And then I'm going to move it down. I'm actually going to go this way with it. Give it a gap. Get it out. And you'll end up with something very similar. Don't worry about the rough edges. We can smooth those out once it hardens up a little bit. So again, I want to make it 8 inches. And I'll use this one on the hand-built one, the hand-built chick. 8 inches, and then I've got some for the feet left over, which I'll save. And I'll put this on here to start forming. Okay, to make the wings, I use this cookie cutter or pastry cutter. And you need 4 of these for each side, and then 3 for the top of the handle. And then I just pinch them down, and the wing's ready. Now if you don't have one of these, you can take a piece of clay, roll it in a ball. It's a bit big. And then the same as what you do for the beak is you roll it just on one side of the ball and you make a point, and then you just smush it down. And it gives you the same shape as what we cut out. We're pretty close. I'll make these up for all the chicks and I'll show you how I attach them. Okay, I've created all of the wings. So now I'm going to look at the front of the chick and I'm going to determine where I want the wings to go. So I'm going to look at it and I'm going to look at the side and I'm going to make a little mark and I'm going to try and make them even on both sides. And I'll just take an overhead view and see if I've lined up with that one and that one. And it looks pretty good. So I know that's where I'm going to want to put my wings. So I take my scratch tool from that point and I just go back. And from that point and I just go back. And then I take my wing and I scratch on it. And I just put it at the back and I blend it forwards. And I take the next one, scratch it up, and I'm going to go off to the side. And blend it down. Try to go down and forwards with it. And I scratch it again. Get another wing. Wet it. And I'm going to angle it down. And then I blend it forward. Just to try to blend it in. And then the last one for this side, I scratch it and I scratch right here. I put it on and I blend it forward. And then once I've got it blended in, take my sponge and I get rid of any lines. You can see the lines there. I just want to blend those all in. Make it nice and smooth. Okay, and then I do the other side. Same thing. And the cheeky has wings. So as this dries, once it dries, before I bisque fire it, I will take a green scrubby and make it all nice and smooth. I'll go over it with a wet brush over all the wings and smooth them out. But I'm going to wait till they dry to leather hard because the wings are still really soft. And when they dry to leather hard, it makes it easier to smooth it out without making dents in it like I just did there. So I'll leave it and let it dry up. I'll finish up the rest of them and I'll come back. Okay, so now for the handle. They've been drying up. I want to taper the end here so that I can curl it like this here. So how I do that is I just pinch it and move it along, pinch it, move it along. You can wet it a little bit and kind of pull it down. Sort of like you're pulling a handle, but you're just pulling the end part and you're putting it into a point. I want to keep the shape of the ridges. And I'm pulling it down to a point. So I want it to curl nicely. And then once I get it to where I like it, I just use my pin tool and I roll it over. Show that. Roll it over and pull it out. And I bring it back to its round state that it's been sitting in, and clay has the memory, so it goes back there nicely. Move this guy out of the way. And I'm going to take this one. I'm going to find the middle of the back from the nose, directly at the back, score at the top, and score at the bottom. I don't want to go all the way to the bottom. I want to go up a little bit because I don't want this touching the floor when it's sitting, because I want to glaze underneath and I don't want the glaze to hit the shelf. Score here, and I'm going to score down here with it. And get this in here. Twist it a little bit. And I'm just going to smooth this down. And I'm going to smooth the tail. I'm just smoothing and compressing it in so I get rid of any marks. Make sure I've got a good connection. And then I'm going to put some tail feathers on here. I'm going to do 2 coming out and then 1 going up. So that one on first. Put that one on second. Try to compress it in. Okay. All right, I'll do the rest and I'll come back. Okay, for the feet, I take the leftover handle pieces and 2 pieces off like this, ridge side up. I break down some toes. And then I push the toes together. I take my sponge, make sure it's wet, and I rub the toes along the top just to soften them up. This clay's been sitting here for a bit. I'll wet the bottom, and I'm going to pinch. They're a little too wet. Shoot. I pinch it down to a V. To make the foot. I do the same thing with the other one. Shape the toes. So what chick have? Do they have toes? I guess they're more claws. I want the V to come all the way from the top down. Not just down here, but all the way down. Give it one nice A-line shape. Round off the end. Compress it a bit. And there we have the feet. So I take the front, and I'm going to put the feet here and here. So I get my scratch tool, scratch it. Where I want the feet. Scratch the feet. And I'm going to put them in. Kind of twist them. Twist it in. And I'll take the brush. Just clean it up. Clean up the scratch marks that I made that are showing over. Clean up any marks on the toes. There we go. Chick is done. Okay, to hand build one of the chicks instead of throwing it, if you don't have a wheel, you can still make it. I made this form, which I use for a lot of my hand building mugs. It gives the ability to give a round bottom on your mug. So what I did, or how I made this, is I took a 3-inch, I bought this at Home Depot, 3-inch by 2-inch PVC pipe. So what it is it is 3 inches on the inside edge from here to here, but on the outside edge, it's actually 3.5 inches. So it's 3.5 inches from the outside edge to the outside edge. So that gives you a good size cup. So this here I got from Hobby Lobby. I believe it was Hobby Lobby. Yeah, in their kitchen area. It's a salsa dish, and it's got a perfectly nice round bottom. So that gives you this nice round top to this. So I take the PVC pipe and I put it in the dish and I level it. I'm going to make sure it's level, both directions. Check this way again. And then I take my pencil, because if I put it on as much lead out as I can get, I can actually get down and I can trace a mark to show the bottom of the pipe. Oops, I broke it. So now I've got a mark. I don't know if you can see it. Mark there that was around the pipe. I take a permanent marker and I'm just going to give it a little tick, because I know that that is where I want my plaster to stop. So I have a extra piece of flooring that I'm going to use, because this is my workspace for clay, and I don't want to get plaster on my workspace. So I'm going to mix up enough plaster, and I'll do it off camera so that I can put my mask on, to fill up to this line. And before I put the plaster in, I will use a little spray, and that's why I use the permanent marker, so that I can see it even when it gets wet. Okay, so now that it's firmed up and I can stand it on its end, it's not going to collapse. I'm going to check to make sure it's still round. Then I'm going to have to put, I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if I got a light here. You can see where the seam is. The way I attached it, it's really firmly attached, but I'm still going to add a coil where the seam is just to make sure it's nice and secure. So I will make myself a coil. Put it on the inside because it's a bit drier now. And put the coil in. I'll fast forward through this so that it's not so boring. Okay, so I'm going to take this dowel with balls on the end, and I'm just going to smooth the bottom. Okay, now I have this rock, but you could really use anything. There are little ribs. I have this rock that I use, but you can really use anything. They have these little ribs, anything with a round, harder edge. This one's a little soft, but it still works well. But I like this rock. Clean it off. And I go in and I just push it out. Let's see if I can do it with my left hand. And I'm just pushing out the sides to give it that belly effect. But I am going to push it to try and get it as round as my thrown pieces. And you can also use this as well to help belly it. I'm going to use the larger side right in the middle. I'm just going to spin it around, pushing it out, coming up, pushing it out, going down. Just trying to create that belly effect. It's a little more time consuming than throwing it, but if you don't have a wheel or if you don't throw, it's still possible. And I work this and I work it slowly because I really don't want to tear it, especially where the seam is. And eventually it'll get there if you just keep working it. She's looking good. Now I just take the top and I'm going to pinch it in. Bring it around. Keep using this to make sure you keep it round. And then pick it up and take a look at it and see it's more bulging here than there. So you want to go back and you want to make sure you try to get everything fairly even. It almost becomes like a pinch pot. Okay, so if you have a turntable, you can put it on here. Now it's a little bit firmer, and start shaping it again and really pushing out. On the wrong side.
Winner. She's 69. Let's go to 14.
And Dottie, the situation for McElroy. He's got a lie, a swing, and a window, Andrew. 155 yards to the deck, 167 to the hole. Yesterday, on the other side of the fairway, 14, he had a lie, a gap, and a window, and he put it on the green. Trying to duplicate that here. This was the shot yesterday. Here at 14. Going up high over the trees and putting it on the green. Looked like he was in trouble off the tee. Instead, he's at a birdie putt. See if he can do it again.
That's a 9-iron in his hand at the moment.
Okay, 171 adjusted, Harry Diamond tells him. It's not. You have to get over it.
A little bubble or two. Not playing seriously. That's too much of it.
Must have got a little flyer there, Andrew.
Also nice that chicken back up the hill.
No, you're right, Johnny. In today's whole location, very manageable. Hope those Pistons are in good shape still. It's a 13. Third throw. 103 yards. Isn't that a classy shot? Sure. You know, you think it's just 100 yards, but that is not easy. It's so difficult. And Connors with his second.
A little off the pitching wedge. Beautiful line to start.
Oh, yes. Locked in as we go to 18.
And there is Oberg, who played the first 2 rounds with Rory. Jump there. Stay left.
Go a little. That'll do.
This is what we saw all last year at this event, which not only was his Masters debut, it was his major championship debut. And he finished the runner-up, 13.
From that line, has to be careful. Just try and run it onto the surface. Not so bad. And it really missed it down. It had. It was like into the bank and then one bounce in.
Yeah, what a bad break.
You know, it was so gentlemanly there because he waited for Justin Rose to come up and mark his ball so he didn't use it as a backstop. A very classy move.
Good.
15.
And here's Shane. Back to 13.
Yes, he could quite easily have just jumped in and played it and used that ball behind, but I thought that was very classy. He's done a lot of good things nicely and well, Bryson DeChambeau. He won the low end in 2016. Came out of SMU in Dallas, where he went because his rival, Payne Stewart, the great Payne Stewart, our good friend, used to go to SMU and wore that cap, the Ben Hogan style cap, which Bryson used to wear before now he was in this one. This is a good man. Now, 15.
This Scheffler's third shot in desperate need of a birdie.
250 out to the right. This is marvelous stuff.
At 14.
It was third. This one looks good. Great shot. For birdie. Not to be. Just to pull a line in the bunker. Stop him from being aggressive with the bunker shot.
Coming in with a 7-iron here.
That's been his problem today, Trevor, and you know all too well. We talk about it all the time. You have to be spot on with the distance control, and Bryson's been off today.
Yeah, so Virgin 12 make bogey, and the 7-iron in 12-5 walks away with 5.
15.
Well, you may have heard a little noise. Bryson was over that putt. It came from 15, and Hatton playing his board.
Taylor gets his first birdie of the day. Gets the side on his toe.
You got a couple.
Misses the birdie. That was a great opportunity for Connors. 13. Led by one at the start of the day. Only pass by 4 just for birdie.
Gosh, they turned her on in the last foot.
Did it ever has snapped. 18 now.
It's over. Chance to get in at 7 under.
Too tentative.
The speed, 269. 7-3 runs at Augusta. Once he's away, as high that score now. It's 3 times he shot 69. At 15, Scheffler needs one, gets one. Hadn't made a birdie since the second hole. 14.
McIlroy for his ball. Trouble off the tee, but no sweat for McIlroy. And he remains at 10 under. A deep breath for Rory as he'll make his way back to the tee of the par 5 15. Rory McIlroy, the leader by 2 of the 89th Masters Tournament.
Only getting isolated results. Big gains come from AI that works across your data and applications. The AI built for business. IBM. The strongest push through. No matter where the road takes them.
Can you feel our network? You can feel the pride.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous.
You're gonna do great.
Thanks, bro.
You can feel the love. You may not be able to see how much we've invested building the nation's largest wireless and fiber network. But 290 million Americans feel it every day. Connecting changes everything.
We are back at the 14th, and Justin Rose on the tee. A bogey here yesterday, and currently 4 behind McIlroy. Now that's a good one down on the right center of the fairway. Heading toward the second cup, but will stop before it reaches to 15.
McIlroy has smashed this one. It dazzled us right away.
It's way down there. We're going for it. And to Chamberlain. Nice and even par on this round today. As we go to 15.
For Lowry. And his third.
Tripped it nicely. So easy to get steep with the downstroke. That was wonderful.
16.
Handful of shots behind is Scotty Scheffler. Starts off with a good line. Pitched on. At the right time.
Here's McCarty.
Why settle for what's possible?
We are ready to stand up.
Okay, give me a sec.
You can push
I
beyond
wonder
the
if
impact.
John does this
Yeah.
It's heavy.
Go call him.
Something else to do.
There's no one way of doing things. No unwritten rules. And no shortage of adventure. Out here, a round can be whatever you want. However you want. Out here, all levels are welcome. All approaches encouraged. Out here, we're creating the world's largest youth golf club, where the only requirement is having fun. Bank of America invites kids 6 to 18 to golf with us, offering a free one-year membership and discounted tee times.
So
And we support the next generation.
we're gonna want to stand her up right here, I think.
Everyone, what would you like the power to do? Bank of America.
Back at the 14th
Table over
the second
where
for
it's
DeChambeau.
about right here.
Dialed back in.
Has to clear that ridge. Oh, does not even come close.
Oh, wait, come on. This is heavy. It's really